She accidentally sent me a photo that wasn't meant for me. I never thought a single photo could destroy the way I looked at my wife, but that's exactly what happened. One image, one careless mistake, and everything I thought I knew about my marriage collapsed. My name is Daniel. I'm 34 years old, and I work as a paramedic here in Chicago. My life used to be a mix of chaos and quiet, 12-hour shifts racing through the city, pulling people back from the edge of death, then coming home to the quiet of my apartment, to my wife, Emily. She was my anchor, the person who made all the noise fade into something bearable. Or at least, that's what I believed. Emily is 32, a high school art teacher. She's the kind of person who can take a blank canvas and turn it into something alive. When we first met, what drew me to her was how she saw the world differently. Where I saw exhaustion, she saw meaning. Where I saw tragedy, she saw resilience. She was calm water to my storm. Or maybe I just wanted her to be. We'd been married for 6 years. We talked about kids sometimes, but life was busy. She said we had time, and I believed her. I thought we were steady, secure, untouchable. I thought wrong. It was late on a Wednesday night. I was sitting in our living room, sipping cold coffee and scrolling mindlessly through my phone. My wife, Claire, was in the shower upstairs. The buzz of her phone vibrated against the kitchen counter. Normally, I wouldn't even glance. We both respected each other's privacy. But the screen lit up with a preview of a photo, one that made my blood run cold. At first, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. But no, there it was. A nude photo of Claire, posed in a way I had never seen before. The kind of picture you don't take for your husband of 7 years, but for someone else. And then the text underneath. Can't wait until tomorrow night. You won't last 5 minutes. The message wasn't addressed to me. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. I just sat there, staring at the glowing screen, waiting for my brain to come up with some logical explanation. A prank? A joke between friends? A mistake? But the more I looked at it, the more impossible it became to deny the truth. My wife had just accidentally sent me a picture meant for someone else. Claire and I met in a place that almost felt too ordinary for a story that would turn out this messy. She was an elementary school teacher, patient, bright, with a smile that could disarm even the rowdiest child. I was a paramedic. Long shifts, long nights, the kind of job that keeps you balanced on the edge of exhaustion and adrenaline. We were opposites in many ways. She thrived on structure, lesson plans, neatly organized binders, sticky notes in pastel colors. I lived in chaos, 2 a.m. calls, unpredictable emergencies, late-night fast food in the ambulance. But somehow, we worked. She steadied me, and I gave her spontaneity. Our marriage wasn't a fairy tale, but it was ours. Dinners at our favorite Italian place on Fridays, camping trips in the summer, lazy Sunday mornings with the newspaper. I trusted her with my life. Literally. Which is why, when I saw that photo, something inside me cracked. She came down after her shower, hair damp, skin glowing, wrapped in that old blue robe of hers. She smiled at me the way she always did, the little half-smile that once melted me. "Hey," she said, plopping down next to me on the couch. "What are you still doing up?" I wanted to scream. I wanted to shove the phone in her face and demand answers. But instead, I froze. "Just couldn't sleep," I muttered. My heart was hammering. I wanted her to feel my suspicion, to see the rage boiling in my eyes. But she didn't. She leaned her head against my shoulder, the same way she had 1,000 times before, and sighed contentedly. I sat there, stiff, every nerve screaming at me. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I didn't want it to be true. I didn't want to confirm what I had seen, because if I did, everything we had built would shatter. So I stayed silent. But silence doesn't kill suspicion. It feeds it. The next day, while she was at work, I found myself doing something I had never done in our entire marriage, snooping, Her phone had a password, of course, but I had watched her type it in countless times. My hands shook as I entered the digits. And there it was. Dozens of messages, photos, texts so explicit they made my stomach churn. His name was Ryan. He was a contractor who had done some remodeling work on our house the year before. I remembered him. Tall, easygoing, with the kind of charm that made everyone in the room laugh. Claire had insisted on hiring him again when we redid the kitchen. I hadn't thought much of it at the time, but now I saw everything. They had been meeting for months, in hotels, at his place, even once, horrifyingly, in our own home when I was working a double shift. I scrolled through the messages in disbelief, my hands clammy, my chest tight. Every line was another knife. Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about it. You make me feel alive again. He has no idea. No idea. She was right. I had no idea. That night I tried to pretend nothing had changed. I couldn't confront her. Not yet. I needed to understand. I needed to catch her in her own web. So I watched her carefully. Every glance at her phone. Every smile she tried to hide. Every excuse she made about staying late at school. She thought she was clever. But once you know, you can't unsee it. The lies became obvious. I'm staying late to help with grading. Really? Because the school was dark when I drove by. I'm meeting Emily for coffee. Funny, Emily posted on Facebook that she was out of town. Piece by piece, the facade crumbled. It all came to a head one Saturday afternoon. She told me she was going to a teacher's workshop across town. Something in me snapped. I followed her. My palms were sweating as I trailed her car through the maze of streets. My heart pounded as she pulled into the parking lot of a cheap motel. I watched, stunned, as Ryan's truck pulled in right beside her. They kissed in broad daylight. Not a nervous, guilty kiss. A deep, hungry one, like two people who couldn't get enough of each other. I sat there in my car, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. My vision blurred with rage, and still, I couldn't move. That night, when she came home, I was waiting. She walked in, humming, dropping her bag by the door. She froze when she saw me sitting at the table, her phone in my hand. "We need to talk," I said, my voice shaking. Her face drained of color. She knew. I didn't yell. I didn't throw things. I just laid out everything I had seen, every message, every photo, every lie. And then I told her about the motel. For a long time, she said nothing. Then the tears came. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I didn't mean for it to go this far. I don't know what I was thinking." I laughed bitterly. "You don't know what you were thinking? You were thinking about him, over and over again." She reached for me, but I pulled away. I couldn't stand the sight of her. The weeks that followed were a blur of shouting, crying, silence, and sleepless nights. She begged me to forgive her. She swore she'd end it. She promised she still loved me. But how do you forgive a betrayal like that? I tried. God help me, I tried. For the sake of the life we had built. For the sake of the memories. For the sake of the woman I thought I married. But every time I looked at her, I saw that photo. The one that wasn't meant for me. The final twist months later, long after I filed for divorce, I learned something that twisted the knife even deeper. Ryan wasn't just some fling. He wasn't just a distraction. He was someone she had been planning a future with. While I had been working long shifts to support us, she had been dreaming of leaving me behind. The only reason she didn't was because of that one mistake, that one photo sent to the wrong person. Her carelessness exposed everything. I wish I could say I found closure. I wish I could say I forgave her. But the truth is, I'm still haunted. By the look on her face when I confronted her. By the image burned into my brain. By the knowledge that I wasn't enough for her. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder if she ever regrets it. If she ever thinks about the life she destroyed. If she ever wishes she had checked twice before hitting send. But I'll never know. Because I walked away. And maybe that's the only closure I'll ever get.